How many people in the room use hypnosis or hypnotherapy at all? All good. Fantastic. Right. So a handful of you will have some notion of this. But I trained, there's someone else in the room that trained in the same school as me, and Susan Rodriguez, who's next door, trains people in this. Now, I'm kind of glad she's not here, because what I'm going to say will probably be a million miles from anything that they've trained, and possibly a million miles from what you've learned, because this is my personal interpretation. So my disclaimer is, if you think this is rubbish, that's fine, because this is my point of view and it's my session. So for me, the conscious versus the unconscious. What I've learned, now, I also want to say, even if I were the most well-qualified neuroscientist on the planet, this would still be massively hypothetical, you know, because we know a smidgen, actually, of what really goes on. But for me, conscious is logical, rational, intellectual. It's, if you like, the sensible bit of the brain. And unconscious is emotional, it's all about senses. But what I find more helpful is when I'm explaining to clients is, if you imagine the conscious brain is like your route map, your guide, your how-to instructions. It's the part of your brain that, you know, when you buy something that you think is really exciting, but you actually have no idea how to use it, you need those set of instructions. Unless you're like a lot of men and you don't need those. Get rid of it. Sorry, I hope I'm not offending any of the men in the room, but it is quite a thing, isn't it? So that's the conscious bit of the brain. But imagine the unconscious is like the universe and all the galaxies and every living thing, right down to molecular, atomic structure, deeper than that, and right out to the edge of the stars and God knows where. And that's amazing, and that's wonderful, but you kind of need this route map, the conscious, to navigate it. So that's all wonderful stuff. But what I also like to imagine is, for me, solutions focus is like having the best researcher on the planet working on your team. God, I've got this great researcher, they're so good at just finding the way forward. You know, I couldn't have worked this out all by myself. I needed this solutions-focused kind of person, technique, to get me where I wanted to go. So, if you like, it's the best possible tour guide, brochure, travel agent on the planet. And that's what, for me, solutions-focused on. I love it. What I think hypnosis adds to that, and I make grand claims here, but what I think hypnosis is like the Google, researcher versus Google. Now, there's some great researchers out there, but not one of them can do what Google does. You know, Google is like, well, what is it? Nobody knows. We go, well, I don't know what it does. It's really clever. We key in what we want and get it back. Now, for me, using hypnosis as a tool, combined with solutions focus, I personally think that makes it the most powerful tool on the planet. It becomes like plugging, Googling, and getting what you want. So that's my little interpretation. And you probably noticed I did say Q&A's at the end. If you want to ask, yeah, go on.
Sorry, you just said Q&A.
Yeah. No, do you want to ask me something now?
No, let's wait.
You sure? Yeah? Okay. Right, so, all about me. I want to share a little bit about me because I sometimes think if I'm talking about success, and I clearly said success is different for all of us, and I want you to be thinking, one of the things I love, sorry, I do lots of this, I'm a bit like Billy Connolly used to be, you know when he goes off somewhere and you go, where's he gone? Bring me back if I lose it. But, I've lost it already. Come back. Yeah, come back.
It's personal, you were
Sorry?
It's personal, because it's personal. That's why
because it's personal.
personal.
Absolutely, it's personal. And while I might be rambling on about something or other, you know, what I love about this is it doesn't matter to me if your brain, your subconscious brain, is just already somewhere else, you know, you've drifted off, because what I love, and I don't know whether this is about solutions focus as well, but certainly hypnotherapy, what you rely on is not that people listen to every word that you say. God forbid they don't listen to every word you say. But with the subconscious, there will be triggers, little phrases or images or actions that trigger something in your brains. So even if 99% of what I say, you leave it and you go, well, that was a waste of space. If 1% triggered a thought in your mind that added something useful to you, that you could go away with, and your brain would start turning over to change something for you in the way that you found success, then that's a success from my perspective. So that's what I want from you, for you rather. My story. Okay, I used to work in the corporate world. We won't go into depth about what that was. But I kind of had quite a meteoric rise in my 20s, and I became a director, and I thought I was very clever. And I was extremely arrogant and very difficult to manage. So I went through a whole series of mini successes and big disasters. So mini successes and big disasters. And I always thought, oh, this is someone else's fault. You know, it's the economy, it's lived in the wrong place, went to the wrong school, chose the wrong subject, rubbish employer, stupid people. You know, I found all kinds of reasons why I didn't achieve the level of success that I wanted. And all I knew before I took up hypnotherapy was that I was into my 40s and heading towards my mid-40s, and I had no idea how I was going to have a pension when I retired, making any money, live in a big house, how I was going to do any of that. But I knew I wanted to do it, but I had no idea. So, if you like, my miracle question was very vague and foggy and misty. So my miracle question was, oh, well, I'd like to, you've all probably worked with people like this, oh, I'd like to be richer, happier, more successful. Yes, and, well, there was no and for me, it was just that kind of, just as I have loads of clients come into my room, and they sit there, and actually that's quite specific, you know, we wouldn't even get that specific. So that's where I was, and I stumbled onto hypnotherapy. There was no plan here, I stumbled. And the only reason it became what I did initially was because it meant I didn't have to work for any useless bosses, for any useless companies. I could work on my time, on my terms, and that'd be great, because I could make lots of money, because it's quite a good hourly rate. Yes, I can do this. And I trained, and I absolutely loved it from the moment I trained. Every single second of every minute of the training, I loved. Not a moment passed where I went, this bit's a bit dull, isn't it? So I knew it was right for me. And I was trained in what was called, at that point, this was before we'd actually studied solutions-focused work separately, solutions-focused hypnotherapy, which is, in simple terms, is about simply focusing on left frontal lobe being the positive thinking side of the brain, and if you get people using that side of their brain, they start accessing solutions and innovation and creativity via the subconscious. I don't labour that too much, because although it's taught in a very, this is the way it is way, I always go, yeah, but actually no one really knows that, but I kind of liked it. And it's good to work with people and help them to feel positive about themselves, instead of, you know, the old-fashioned regressional psychotherapeutic floods of tears if they don't leave looking upset, you haven't done your job. It was so much better. So that's where I went into it, and I became relatively successful. I was a full-time hypnotherapist, seeing clients, and God, I actually made a living. I had a salary, and I felt great. But I still had this, but how do I get to that point of having a pension, to retire on, I'm not going to make that, you know, how many clients do I have to see? And I used to work it out, going, 40, but even if I see 60, that's still. And I thought, what if I get sick? What if I get sick? Well, how do I earn money then? What do I do? I still didn't know. So then, solutions-focused training became a course that was offered where I'm trained as a hypnotherapist. So I thought, right, great, and I'll just plug that in. I had no plan, still no plan, still no detail in my miracle question. So I went along the train thinking it would be just like it was before. And after the first weekend, there were lots of very fired up people going, oh, this is going to be so helpful for my clients, it's going to make such a difference. And I was lost. I was all at sea, I was crushed, my confidence just nosedived. And I thought, I can't do this anymore, because you can probably tell my style is kind of more coaching-ish. I talk a lot. And I'd watched Insoo Kim Berg and Steve DeShazer. How many of us watched Insoo Kim Berg and Steve DeShazer on film? Okay. They don't say a lot, do they? I've never known people that can hold a silence for so long without worrying about it. And that is just alien to me. I can't do this. So I thought, oh, I have to do things a different way. And what happened was, my clients, I just started losing clients. I stopped being successful with them. I stopped attracting them into my business. And it was all going horribly wrong. I thought, oh no, this solutions-focused thing. Until I began, unwittingly, and this is where I think the hypnosis moved, because I use self-hypnosis. I listen to CDs. I work with colleagues. We go, oh, don't get me on the couch, because I lie down. We love it. And I think, gradually, without me consciously thinking through a plan, I began to realise, well, hold on a minute, solutions focus is about finding your skills and your way. And that's what it's about, isn't it? It's not about someone else deciding what you should do and how you should do it. It's about you figuring out what you want and how you get there. And gradually I began to unwittingly use this for myself. So my personal, and I don't actually sit myself down in the chair, what I'd really like is to be rich. So I don't do that, although maybe I will now. But I began to put more flesh on the bones. I thought, okay, well, I want this rich thing, but I can't do this just seeing clients. So to cut a very long story a little bit shorter, where I am now is still seeing clients as a therapist, but I've embraced those qualities that I had, that I thought I had to jettison, of being quite intuitive, quite good at helping people when they're absolutely struggling with, they can't move beyond the negatives. Okay, well, it's a miracle question, I don't want to do this, and I don't want to do that. Okay, I know you don't want to do it, but what do you want to do? And I find that I have skills that can help people with that. It's not for everyone, but that doesn't matter, because I don't have to please everybody, and none of us do. What matters is that I resonate with some people and some others. And what I discovered once I started opening my mind with hypnosis and solution focus was that, hey, there was a way that I could see loads more clients, and I could use the web, I could still use hypnosis, and I didn't need to use Skype, and I could apply my coaching skills. So that's where I am right now. And I've chosen to specialise currently in binge eating. That's a field that I feel quite passionate about. I won't stay in it forever. For me, it's all underpinned by self-esteem and success. But for me, the reason I told you the story is because I think that what got me there, given that I didn't start until my mid-40s, I'm a bit of slow on the uptake. But I think I got there in the end. And it was solutions focus and hypnotherapy that got me there. So, whether that's helped anyone or not, right. Now, for those of you that do hypnosis, you know this is really fun, this bit. I'm just going to do a relaxation session, okay? We're clearly not going to do therapy here. And we couldn't anyway. All I'm just going to do is give you an opportunity to just chill for 10 minutes, just relax. But I've said here, think, because this is about success. You need to think about where you want greater success for you. Whether it's personal or work plant the seed, okay? So if you close your eyes, you know you don't need to close your eyes, but I just think it's easier and nicer to imagine with your eyes closed. So just begin, if you like, by imagining nothing at all, because it doesn't matter. There's no particular need to listen, to make an effort to listen. You'll be aware of sounds in the room, the hum of the sound equipment, sounds outside the room. If you've never done this before, you might be feeling a little strange. But just allow yourself to just rest with your eyes closed. And take this opportunity to just imagine anything. But you don't have to imagine anything. You can imagine nothing. You can just allow yourself to drift and dream and daydream. And you might wonder about relaxation. You might wonder about whether it is possible to just relax, sitting where you're sitting now. Imagining which part of your body you might relax the most right now. You might choose a single point to focus on, perhaps the top of your head, the tips of your toes. You might notice tension in a specific part of you, and you could choose to focus on that tension and then focus only on releasing that. And as you release it, notice how your body enjoys releasing it. It's as if the cells around that particular part of your body enjoy the feeling like soft, gentle strokes that flow into other parts of your body, like gentle water flowing through you. And that could happen quickly or slowly. It could be like a river of relaxation or an ocean of calm. And remember that there's no need to listen to me. No need to make an effort. No need to make an effort to relax. But remember that this is your time. Time that's just for you and for nobody else. And there's nothing else to do. Nothing else to think about, and nobody to please you. And of course, I don't know what you might be wondering. What success means for you. But you can just allow yourself, if you wanted, to focus only on the word and nothing more. Or you might begin imagining a whole storybook of tales. And you can see what you're doing, and you can see how you're doing it. Perhaps you can hear the words that are being said or the sounds around you. Perhaps you feel as if you're there. Or maybe you're just floating. Maybe you're on a gentle boat on a soft and still lake. And maybe you're just dabbling your hands in the water, the cool water, and creating gentle ripples that filter out to the edges of the lake. Or maybe you can feel the warmth of the sun on your skin. Perhaps you're wandering down a white, golden sandy beach, and you can feel the warmth of your sand beneath your feet, not too hot, just comfortable. Or maybe you wander down to the sea, and you can feel the water trickling around your toes, gentle, soft waves whooshing in. And you don't have a care in the world, you're just wandering. Wandering without any sense of time or place. And you might lose yourself in the sensations or the colour of the sea or the sky, the deep azure blue. Or maybe you take some time to just settle down find yourself a hollow with your back resting comfortably, and your feet perhaps in a cool pool of water. And you can feel the soft breeze and the smell of salt all in on the air as you close your eyes and imagine. You dream. You dream of a fluffy white cloud floating towards you. And you dream that you have the power to move the cloud with the power of your thoughts, to bring it closer and closer to you. You can move the cloud. And you just relax and enjoy playing with the notion that you are moving the cloud closer and closer. And you take your own time, and when it's right above your head, you imagine willing it to stop. And when you will it to stop, you envision all of your stresses and cares and anxieties and concerns. Watch them floating up, and away into the cloud. Watch the final spiral of concerns and cares and frustrations and ordinary, everyday worries just drift into the cloud as the sun breaks through and scatters the fragments of cloud as tiny fragments of dust to the farthest edges of the universe, tiny specks of insignificant matter. And you realize the meaning of the word matter. You matter. What you want matters. And there's a curious notion about energy being matter, and somehow energy does matter. And those specks at the farthest edges of the universe somehow are recreated as unseen energy that flows around and within and is unseen, but you can somehow connect with it to see what you want and where you want to be. And it might just be a feeling, a notion, or a very specific story, but it feels delicious and delightful. And you can drift and float and dream or rest. And when you're feeling relaxed and easy, you can choose to just open your eyes. Is everyone feeling quite mellow?
It's beautifully done.
Good, thank you, thank you. Good, now payback. Right. Obviously, because most of you have allowed yourself to relax, you might not be thinking anything about solutions or success. The more stressed amongst you might be thinking about what work you've got to do when you get back, or the shopping list. Hopefully you will have put that on hold for a while, and some of you might actually have begun moving forward with your notion of success. Now, we're all familiar with scaling and miracle questions. Yeah? Anyone not familiar with scaling and miracle questions?
Don't know what miracle question is yet.
Oh, good. Okay. I tell you, that's what crucified me. When I first trained, it was a miracle question. Because I did it, I had learned to do it like insecure birds. Okay, I learned the phrase, I'll say it, and I sat there and people looked at me and they went, "What do you mean?" And I think, "Oh God, I don't know what I mean. I don't know." So for me, miracle question, and there's far greater experts in the room who may want to chip in here, but for me, it's just about how would things be different if they were more what you wanted to be. Given what you said you want to achieve, imagine you've achieved it. What's going to be different? And if they go, "Well, I can't imagine achieving that," go, "Okay, well, just imagine tomorrow's a bit closer than today. What's got to be different to make it closer?" So for me, in very simplistic terms, that's how I use it. Is that any help?
Yeah.
Right, what I'd like you to do, if you're comfortable with this, is, I thought it'd be really nice that you would see that I am no way purist. Are you all right, everyone? Do you want to come out here? This is sound. Thank you.
Is there a reason that you want to start on?
Would you like to sit on stage? Do you actually? Oh yes.
I know he dropped it before in the relaxation. Nodding off.
Right. Okay. I'll sit. Oh God, yes.
Do you need that on?
Oh, good thinking. Yeah. Thank you. Lovely. Okay. What I thought might be really helpful to do, because I used to panic about solutions focus, was for you to see roughly the way I work with this, and you can go, it's not solutions focus, or I wouldn't do it like that, but that's why I want you to see it. I want you to know that it's not just about hypnosis, but what I use from solutions focus, and I'll demonstrate this later in the session, is, you know, that whole reflective language. You know, we're supposed to be listening and reflecting. It's just box now, so I'm really giving right. You know, when you listen to people and you reflect the kind of phrases that they use and the metaphors that work for them, yeah. That's where I think hypnosis becomes really powerful, because I'm foolishly have no notes with me, so I won't be writing down. If someone got a pen and pad. Oh! You are an absolute angel, thank you. So, now, you're both very great. So share with me, what success would you like? What have you been thinking that you would find helpful? You know, what's your objective?
I'm doing a workshop later today. Give it that as a success.
So you're running a workshop? Oh, fantastic. Okay. So what's the workshop on?
Working with no companies.
Fantastic, love it. And let's do this game again. So on a scale of 0 to 10, that workshop going exactly how it wants to go. How are you feeling about it at the moment? How's it going to go?
Well, that's sort of 5 out of
5?
10. Yeah.
Okay, so how do we you want to be at 10, don't you? When you walk in that room, you want to be at 10, don't you? But you're at 5 at the moment. So how are you going to step up from 5 to 10? Finish a bit early, okay, that's fine.
And get some lunch.
Right,
Got to move the car.
okay. So tell me what's going to happen in the workshop. Without being to the workshop, no one's going to.
Well, obviously I'm going to introduce myself and introduce what's going to happen in the workshop a bit. A few tales, and then you joke, and then do some, get people to do a bit of role plays, and back together at the end.
Okay, and what are they going to go away with?
I think on the thing it says they're going to go away with renewed enthusiasm for the work they do, something like that.
Okay,
So that's what they're going to do.
that's what they're going to go away with, yeah.
Working with.
Okay, alright then. So, if you're going to be 10, so can you imagine at the end of that session, what happens at the end of that session if you finish it, go, yes, I've nailed this, what's going to happen then?
Well, I guess people might come and say, I like this session.
Right, yeah.
I was thinking to myself, that was the session.
So if they come up to you,
Well, I would be obviously the same. So I'm hoping that nobody here is coming. Because then I won't believe it.
what else would happen?
What else would happen?
What if no one came up to you?
Well, I would have to make my own evaluation as to whether or not I thought it was a good session.
Okay.
I mean, it's
So
sort of,
people come up to you would be good, yeah.
that'd be clear, obvious,
Yeah.
unambiguous, and then
Okay.
they might come up to me and say, shit.
So that's
then when there's a bit of a buzz in the room, it kind of feels like there's an interaction rather than it being detailed focused stuff or focused thinking about themselves stuff training because it wasn't really building.
Okay, so you're going to walk in and it's going to be buzz.
Hopefully there will be some kind of buzz interaction.
Okay.
I'm not going to plan to walk in when everyone's there. I want to be there.
Okay, so you feel, how does that buzz work for you?
I suppose people be talking to me, how we talk to them, we talk to each other, maybe some laughter, maybe some sort of physical energy, people moving, people seem relaxed. I seem relaxed. They might feel quite so dry.
Okay. Brilliant. So it's going to be laughter, interaction, talking, you'll feel that buzz, you've got the energy. So that's happening, it's all going on. Then you're feeling like maybe 6 or 7 at this point? Maybe you're 5?
Yeah, 6 or 7, yeah.
Okay. What makes it not so late?
I've got to do a little bit of preparation before
Right.
I've got some food chance to just so I really promise for me to be honest.
Yeah.
Mainly because I didn't get around to doing the PowerPoint. I started it, but then I didn't finish it.
Okay, so you're going to prep your flip charts.
Yeah. That helped.
Yeah. Tap people, nice bars going on, maybe 6 or 7. You will have done your flip charts by then,
Yeah, no, that'll be done before.
so that'll be an 8. Yeah. So we're very nearly at that.
Maybe, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, we'll see, yeah.
What else was that?
I'd be quite happy if it was 6 or 7. Sorry, that's not the answer, is it?
No, it's fine.
Won't make it
It's
then.
fine. Well, I won't turn into a whole session, but, you know, I think while I'm talking to Rachel, you can be thinking about it.
Rachel might help me.
Yes. So, Rachel, so what are you thinking about? What do you think about your success that you'd like?
I'd like to feel glimpses of calmness that I'm getting in my late 40s. I belong glimpse of that.
So when you get these glimpses of calm, what, describe those for me. When do you get them? What are they like? Yeah, sure, sorry.
Yes, I feel like my tummy is calm. I feel that what I say is understood. I have sort of feeling that I care what people think.
So when you most, what kind of situation might you be when you get that nice feeling in your tummy that's calm and you don't care what people are thinking?
I'm in a bay with people and started carrying looks like this. And I'm gardening. And I'm working day.
That sounds nice.
When I've done
So if that's your 10, is you're in that bay, you know, just whack the other, see, yeah. And you feel that nice feeling in your tummy. Is that your 10? Yeah, okay. So you mentioned at the end of the working day, what number are you at when you're at work then?
it depends what I'm doing. If I'm dealing with very stressful travel,
we were in a session, we could do this for longer, and I've cut it down slightly because then I've chosen, Michael, to work with 2 people. But what I liked, and now I'm guessing you probably know the kind of things I'm writing down here because you're all familiar with these. I can tell the way you use solutions focus because you just had most of this for me on a plate. So what we'll be doing later, with your permission, is I'll do a personal mini hypnosis session for the 2 of you. Yeah, although you need to leave early.
Well, not too early.
Okay, because it's just that this session will run over. If you have to go, don't worry, because I'm still got range of height. So if you'd like to stay and do that, that's great. If not, so then you'll hopefully see me working with what I've been given. And this is something I left out earlier. I think I said when I first qualified as hypnotherapist, I used big books of scripts. These are my props. I need these. Like, what's the problem? Okay, I've got one of those. I've got one of those. What I love about solutions focus is it's made it really, really helpful for me to use that reflection in hypnosis. And what I love about that, which is why I think solutions focus is like the best researcher on the planet, but not quite Google, is because those language patterns that we use to describe what we want, what we don't want, what we like, what we don't like, are, for me, are windows into the subconscious. You know, we don't think about them, but the way we use language and body language too, for me is a window. So I always do my damnedest when I do the hypnosis, and you'll see this later, to employ as much of that as possible. What I do and the way I work, again, this is probably very different to lots of other people, we all work differently. You may find that I mix up what I call plain language, in other words, you will be doing X, Y, Z, which I know a lot of recorded CDs use that. And I kind of like to think I move into dream states when you'll watch me. When I do hypnosis, I think I'm in a hypnotic state. I probably will close my eyes. So that will be interesting for you to watch, I hope. Thank you both very much. If you don't want to come back later, fantastic. Round of applause for now. Thank you. Okay, just to keep everybody a bit awake before the last session. What are we like for time? We're not too bad, are we? Let me just make sure. Yes, your turn. I know you can't see that. It says your turn. I'm not quite sure how many people. People wouldn't mind moving into ideally pairs, but if we've got any people left over, then join with a pair. Just to do a bit of solutions-focused conversation about success. You know, what success is for you, what you'd like. In the same sort of way, I've just had a conversation with Rachel and Matthew about what do you want to achieve, what's it like. So you don't have to do anything with this, but this is your opportunity to get a bit of benefit for you, your solutions focus. You don't have to do the hypnosis bit, but maybe when I'm doing the final session, you could either watch what I'm doing, or you can close your eyes and imagine your own stuff at the time. So get out of this whatever you want, but if you just work together in pairs, and let's go for till 25 past. Is that okay with everyone? So swap halfway.